What's it going to take for Republicans to realize that, that Trump's a con man and a liar and that he's been gaslighting them? What's it going to take for Republicans to turn on Donald Trump? What's it going to take for Republicans to focus on what's right for America? I mean, you look at, I honestly don't know the answer to this question. I mean, I throw it open to you. I mean, what do you think it would take? With any other politician, Gary Hart went down in flames because it was alleged that he had an affair with Donna Rice. And now it looks like that might even be something that was set up by a Republican operative. It might have been, in fact, there's some speculation that Roger Stone had something to do with it. That, Gary Hart was the candidate that the Republicans most feared that year. And so they took him down. I mean, we know that Nixon did this to Ed Muskie. Sent, Chuck Colson out there to play dirty tricks on Ed Muskie, and he ended up, blubbering in the snow about his wife. But what's it going to take? We here in the Washington Post today, the headline. This is just the simple headline, and this is today's paper. President Trump has made 9,014 false or misleading claims over 773 days. Yesterday was the 773rd day of his presidency. It was the fourth biggest day for lies. Yesterday, he told 104 lies on March 3rd. They note he averages, the first year in office, he averaged about 6 lies a day. In his second year in office, he was hitting 16 and a half lies a day. And now in 2019, he's averaging 22 lies a day. I mean, I remember when the Republican Party was outraged, because Barack Obama lied to us. He said, if you like your health insurance, you can keep it. And that's only going to be true for about 95% of Americans. And they were just like, Obama lied. This is terrible. We've got, you've got Kellyanne Conway's husband, George Conway, tweeting that if it's true that Trump had ordered Gary Cohn when he was running the economic policy advisor, that Trump ordered him to tell the Department of Justice to block the merger of AT&T and Time Warner because Time Warner owns CNN and he was PO'd at CNN. And George Conway, Kellyanne's husband, is tweeting this morning that if that's true, it's an impeachable offense. Graphic up at the top of DU this morning, Democrats versus Republicans on the issues. It's brilliant. The Democrats, we want to improve public education. We want universal preschool. We want to slash student debt. We want to lower the cost for higher education. I mean, that's the middle of the road Democratic position. Republicans, Democrats want to take away your trucks and hamburgers. Democrats, we want to protect the environment, combat climate change, invest in renewable energy sources. Republicans, Democrats' green policies will lead to cannibalism. Seriously. I mean, they've got the sources there. That's in the National Review. Democrats, universal affordable quality health care, protect Social Security and Medicare, have a strong safety net. Republicans, Democrats want to take babies home and kill them. That's a quote from Mike Pence. Last week, Democrats, raise the minimum wage, make the richest Americans and corporations pay their fair share in taxes. Republicans, Democrats want to build trains to Hawaii. This is something Trump said 2 days ago. It's like, it's a con, it's a scam. Back in the 80s, they at least had this pretense that they had, quote, new ideas, right? We have the Laffer curve that he drew on the back of a napkin. And Ronald Reagan based an entire tax policy on it. Well, it was really based on Jude Wadinsky's old two Santa Claus theory. Run up the debt when Republicans are in office, scream about the debt when Democrats are in office. Real simple. Force the Democrats to shoot their Santa Claus of, Social Security, Medicare, unemployment insurance, all those other. We can't afford it. Make sure that The question that is always asked, this was Jude Wanniski back in 1976, saying, make sure that this is not a verbatim quote, but it's the essence of what he was saying. Make sure that the question that is always asked whenever Democrats propose anything that's going to help people, in other words, whenever Democrats try to be Santa Claus, the question you need to ask, the question you need to make sure is asked is, well, how are we going to pay for that? We've got this enormous debt. I mean, the Republicans are saying, you know, we don't want to see Trump's tax returns. For 2 years, they controlled the House and the Senate. Any one of those committees could have said, you know, we'd like to see his tax returns. What's this guy up to? No, we don't want to see his tax returns. We don't want to hear from this Kentuck posts over at DU this morning. They don't want to hear from witnesses that validate Trump's criminality. They don't want to talk about how gross and evil their party has become. This is literally see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Meanwhile, Trump is out there talking about how wonderful coal is, and we need to expand coal, and we need to build more coal plants, and we need more coal miners, when in fact, coal is like not good stuff. Oliver Millman, writing for The Guardian, 9 out of every 10 coal plants in the United States with reportable data have contaminated nearby groundwater, and this is no small thing. They're contaminating the groundwater this is from the coal ash, from the waste that the coal plants produce. We literally have, you know, hundreds of millions of tons of this stuff. The American coal plants produce 100 million tons of coal ash a year. And they store it. There's 2 billion tons right now stored in the United States. And, you know, what's getting into the groundwater? I mean, this is literally all over the United States. Of the 265 U.S. power plants that monitor groundwater, 242 have reported unsafe levels of the following pollutants: arsenic, which causes cancer, multiple types of cancer, and lithium, which is associated with neurological damage. 9 out of 10 coal plants, coal-fired power plants. I mean, this is crazy. CPAC, you know, Trump goes to CPAC and just, you know, lies through his teeth. And, you know, goes on and on and on and you know, with his lies. What's it going to take for Republicans to say, you know, enough already. This guy is a con man. He's a fraud. His family are frauds. He ran a phony university, Trump University, for which he paid a $25 million fine for fraud. And who was he defrauding? Mostly veterans. I don't know if it was mostly, but there are a lot of veterans. I mean, they were targeting veterans with Trump University. And somehow, you know, the vets are just fine. Jane Mayer in The New Yorker is reporting just straight up. Brad Reed writing about over at Raw Story, but this is in The New Yorker. That Diana Falzone, she was a reporter over at Fox So-Called News, and she discovered before the election, before the 2016 election, that Trump had done payoffs to Stormy Daniels about his affair with a porn star. And she went to Fox News executive Ken LaCorte, and he says, "Good reporting, kiddo, but Rupert wants Donald Trump to win, so just let it go." She continues investigating and discovers that not only did that happen, but that the National Enquirer is doing these catch and kill things for Trump. And Fox continues to refuse to publish her stuff. In 2017, January 2017, she gets demoted at Fox. She sues. They reach an out-of-court settlement, and she's got a non-disclosure agreement, so she won't talk about it. But, you know, Jane Mayer says she's got the facts. Donald Trump tells FEMA, this is in The Hill today, give Alabama the A+ treatment, right? Because these horrible tornadoes, you know, in part fueled, in my opinion, by climate change. These horrible tornadoes, he says, you know, help out Alabama, right? That's my base. Puerto Rico, 2,975 people killed by Hurricane Maria. No, we're going to cut off their FEMA funds. California, horrible wildfires. He recall last year he threatened to pull the FEMA funding for California. What's it going to take? What's it going to take for Republicans to figure out that this guy is a con man.